Dumelang, Sunny Banani, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I really hope that you enjoy today's video. So today's video is going to be a sit-down video. I will be speaking about the 20 things that I've learned in my lifetime. So this is a list that I've compiled as I was reflecting on my past experiences and my life journey as a whole on this earth, and especially after I went through my journal entries and reflecting on the things that I've been through. I jotted down quite a number of things that I took from these experiences that I'm here to share with you guys today. And I know a lot of these things will be considered cliche, but I can tell you now that cliche things or sayings are cliche for a reason. This is because a lot of people have been through these things and have found there to be so much truth in them because they've been through them as well, you know. But I can promise you guys that I have written all of these down from personal experience. So without any further ado, let us get straight into the video. So number one on my list of the things that I've learned in my life so far is that things do not last forever. With the time I spent on this earth, I have realized how impermanent things are. Whether it's people or things or even a situation that you might be facing, it will not last forever, or might not even last for as long as you have anticipated that thing to be in your life. You might be going through such a tragic moment that it feels like it might drag down forever, but trust you and me, it will not. Or even with people, for example, God forbid, your mother might be here today and not there anymore tomorrow, which is like a sad reality of life. It is both a good thing and a bad thing that things do not last forever. But for me personally, it has made me way more appreciative of things and the people that I have in my life, which is very essential. Number two on my list is that we are living on borrowed time. Guys, the time that we have on this earth is very limited. I mean, I have lived on this earth for 20 years, but I can literally consolidate my entire life story into one single paragraph, you know. 20 years is considered to be a long time, and for me, looking back, I realized that a huge chunk of that time was used on mundane things and routine and all of that, you know. And I feel like that's what people get lost in. So just please remember that you are living on borrowed time, and eventually you're not gonna have time anymore. The third thing on my list is about how life is so unpredictable, you guys. Your life will throw things at you that you never saw coming, like ever. This is quite self-explanatory, so I do not have to dive much into it, but I can tell you that a lot of things have happened in my life that I couldn't have possibly predicted. Like the 14-year-old me is shaking at the things that have transpired. Number 4 on my list is that worry only takes away from your time. I am someone that used to worry a lot. I still worry sometimes, but one thing that I can say I've taken from it is that it is a complete waste of time, an utter waste of time. There's something that I read the other day that says if you stress too much about something before it happens, you basically put yourself through it twice. And I felt that. I don't know why human beings do this to themselves. Even God asks himself this question and urges us not to worry, but we still do it. Guys, you worrying about something will not change it, nor will it make it better or worse. It literally does nothing but make you suffer. But I understand that it's a very humane thing to do. But if you can refrain from doing it, guys, please do. 5 on my list is that what other people think of you is not really your concern. I found myself having difficulty trying to explain this, but I hope you get it. So we as people are made up of different perceptions and ideologies, and we all really grew up under different circumstances. We are influenced by a number of things, mostly by our elders, to be honest, and their perceptions and their ideologies, and we are influenced by the media that we consume, and the way we encounter things, and basically the way we experience life, and it is never the same as the other person. These things that we go through alter and mold the way we see certain things, and no two people can ever see anything in the same way. Like, there's literally 7.6 billion people on this earth, and each person goes through life in their own unique way, meaning that there's 7.6 different ways in which people are experiencing life right now. With that being said, are you really going to want to change the way you see something because another person sees it differently? Let me make this example. I don't remember who made this example, but they make this example. You eat cake, right? And it is literally the best cake you've ever had. And you're eager to let your friend taste this cake, and only to find that they do not like it, or they think it's terrible, or maybe like not taste or something. Are you really going to want to change the way you feel about that cake because your friend it is obviously important to hear the opinions of different people, but there should mostly be to gain insights on different ways of thinking. It should really ever have to alter the way you see something, or perceive something. 6 on my list is that
life is not counting the moments, but making the moments count.
This ties to what I said earlier on about living on borrowed time. But the more important point with this one is that people are just so adamant on counting time. Like, they count how much time they spent on something in the past, or how much time before a future event. Like, how many more days before the weekend, or how much more time before I graduate, and all of that jazz. They are timekeepers, basically. But what's more important than that is making the present moment count. The time that you have right now, how you use that time is what matters. Number 7 on my list is that pain and suffering only makes you a better person. You know how they told us that bad things only happen to bad people? That is obviously not true. Pain and suffering is irreversible for all of us. We are all bound to go through it. But it is through these times that our characters are built. It is through these times that our hearts are molded and strengthened. It is through these times that we are truly shaped into strong people, the strong people that we are meant to be, Strong people aren't born like that, guys. They are made. And we are really strong. Hey, human beings were so strong. We were really tailored to go through this life thing. And you know how this life thing can get, like, quite hectic. But God will never ever put you through something that you are not strong enough for, or something that you cannot bear, like, period. Number 8 on my list is that experience is the best teacher. This ties to what I was saying earlier on about cliche things being cliche for a reason. Although it's not always necessary, but things always hit home after you've been through them. It is that I get it now moment that you only get when something has personally happened to you. I mean, life is personal to all of us, and being told about something and going through that thing are two different things, and experience will make you realize this. 9 on my list is that communication is key. This is another principle that is considered to be cliche, but I can promise you the truth in this is very important. I, for one, have never been the confrontational type, like telling people how they really made me feel, or things that I knew I should have communicated, It was only after I've had essential conversations with my loved ones that we should have honestly had long ago. But what I've realized is that what the brain does with incomplete information or uncommunicated thoughts is that it substitutes that space with how they want to see something. That space is substituted with assumption that their brain makes up. Then they act or behave according to that distorted or incorrect idea of what you should have clarified or communicated in the first place. Then you do the same, your brain does the same thing, then things just get lost in translation. And all of this could have been avoided if people communicate better and with honesty. I feel like lack of honesty contributes vastly to this problem. So speak up, guys. No one can read minds. And say what you mean and mean what you say. Number 10 on my list is that we are the choices that we make. And this is very true. What we choose, we are. So basically, if you choose to be honest, then you're an honest person. If you choose to lie, then you're a liar. If you choose to smoke, you're a smoker. You catch my drift, right? So don't ever feel like you're a victim of your actions, because people choose to act in a certain way. If you consciously choose or decide at that moment that this is what I'm gonna do, it is your choice, and that choice is who you are. But luckily for you, you can choose to make better choices. Number 11 on my list is that mental health problems are more common than I had perceived. Growing up, mental health problems were a taboo, really. Anxiety, I'm sorry, and depression was never something that I saw someone else go through. And it is only now do I realize that depressed people or even suicidal people could be our friends, you know, and people that we smile with on a daily. Although I myself have not been diagnosed with a mental health problem, I know I have suffered tremendously with anxiety and imposter syndrome. I've walked around feeling like a fraud, feeling like all the things I ever have achieved or all the things that I have in my life, I got out of pure luck, or if people were to find out who I really am and how I'm such a constant disappointment and how I am not as happy as I come out to be, that they will find me out. You know, I have this constant fear of being found out, like it is not the choices that I have made that have gotten me here. It is not the pain that I have endured. It is not the bad days that it is not the bad days that I have survived. I still feel like a fraud sometimes. And this has something that has literally consumed my mind and only added on to my anxiety. I am no expert on mental health, but I really encourage you guys to inform yourself and read up on these things, so that we are not as ignorant as our parents were or as their parents were. You know, there's this YouTube channel on YouTube that aims to make psychological information more accessible. They have these cute animated videos that are so informative. I'll leave their link in my description box below so you can check them out. Number 12 on my list is actually one of my favorite things to discover. It is actually amazing to learn this, that all that you need is already within yourself. Isn't that amazing? All that you will ever need is already within you. guys, I don't know if people know this. I don't know if you guys know this, but we are all created with godlike consciousness within all of us. And if you don't want to call him God, let's say a higher power. We are all created with higher consciousness within all of us, and it is not just in some of us, it is in all of us. It reminds me of one of my favorite poems, actually, by Mary Ann Williamson, that says, and you guys might know it, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Guys, do you understand that our deepest fear is not that we are not enough, or we lack anything, or that we are incapable of anything? Our deepest fear is the light that we have within us. Yes, it carries on to say that it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. That entire rendition for me is just so true. I don't think you guys understand that we are created with so much divinity and intricacy, and we're just, guys, we're just magnificent beings, and we don't even know it. If you can picture a better version of yourself, someone that you've always wanted to be, or someone that you know you're meant to be in this world, basically a higher you, a more elevated, more enlightened you. If you can envision that person is already within you. Guys, your Mahatma Gandhis of the world, your Oprahs, your Jeff Bezos, Maya Angelou, your Leonardo da Vinci's, Ronaldinho, the greatest actors in the world, the greatest singers, the greatest dancers, the greatest people of this world are ordinary people like you and me, created with the same divine power. And the only difference that their extraordinariness, if that's a word, comes from them being able to harness that power within them, that godlike consciousness, that higher consciousness that is within all of us. I've been speaking for so long, but anyway, I still have gems. Please stay tuned for the rest of the video. So as I was saying, number 13 on my list is that there is enough money in the world to go around. This is one of the things that I have learned as well. I think I say this because I think a lot of people, and I'm not saying everyone, a lot of people are conditioned, yes, that's the word. A lot of people are conditioned to think that whatever societal hierarchy that they are born into, and this conditioning is obviously subconscious. It's not something that they're aware, that they think like that. They limit their options of what they want to do for a living according to that division in the hierarchy. It's very rare that you find someone who maybe their mother is a teacher and they grow up thinking that, oh my gosh, my mother's a teacher, but I'm gonna be a multi-millionaire, you know? And hence I said it's not everyone, but people are conditioned to but conditioned to stay in the hierarchy, in the division of whatever hierarchy that they're born into. Now more than ever, it is more easier to jump income brackets, I would say, like with the knowledge that we have and the knowledge that is accessible rather, and the opportunities and the power that is within us, and people, more and more people knowing what they're capable of, it is more easier to just exceed the expectations that society puts on you. There's enough wealth in the world, it is not only for certain people, it could be for a lot more people, and people need to realize and not limit themselves. Number 14 on my list is that hard work is actually hard. Yo guys, wow. Like, you know, in high school, I was always perceived to be a hard worker, or so I think. And actually my entire schooling career, I've always been an achiever, you know. Obviously I put in an effort to get the grades that I was getting or achieving the things that I did. I actually put in a lot of effort, I won't even lie. But I never felt like I'm working hard, you know, oh my god, this is so hard work, you know. But that's what school does, guys. School is like a bubble. School is like a bubble. A lot of life lessons are not taught in school, or rather not emphasized enough. And it's only when you're out of this bubble that you realize that, oh my god, I have so much to learn. In life, if you want anything or even need anything, there's a lot that you have to put in before you can reap anything. And if you want great things, like some of us, you have to put in way more than the average person. Hard work is doing the things that your peers aren't doing or prefer not to do. It is self-discipline, which is more difficult when there's no other person to hold you accountable for your actions or lack thereof. It is like sacrificing instant gratification for your long-term goal. Hard work is staying consistent and creating habits that support the life that you want to create for yourself. Maintaining momentum in the direction that you want to see yourself. It is doing the things that you know you're supposed to be doing, even when you don't feel like it. It's never easy. It's never easy. And I myself have failed countless times at being consistent and keeping at it. But I know once I am addicted to the feeling of having my shit together, excuse my French, having my things together, eventually. Number 15 on my list is that growth is painful. Growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying somewhere that you don't belong. Meaning, if you stay stagnant in a place that you're not meant to be in life, you know, because you're not willing to grow, you're not willing to go out of your comfort zone and grow into being a better version of yourself. So you just don't wake up and become the butterfly. Number 16 on my list is the process is actually the prize. I really like how interrelated all my points are as I was speaking about growth being a process. The thing that you need to get to your desired state of being. It is the most important part. Number 17 on the things that I have personally learned. If you do not have control over your mind controls you. A lot of people don't know the power of the subconscious mind. Oh my god, I can't wait to read that book. But basically, there's so many things that we do every day that we do not have to consciously decide to do anymore because it has been automated in our brain. Number 18 on my list is that life is about the present moment. I know you guys might be thinking that I'm saying what I said earlier on about making the present moment count and all that. No. The present moment is the only time that exists. I'm going to make an example with this pen of mine. This pen exists because it is here and now. And you know, you know something to be real if you can perceive it with your senses. So I can touch this pen, I can see this pen, you guys can see this pen. You can see that it exists, right? But this pen does not exist in the past anymore. Neither does it exist in the future. It only exists because it is here now. You might have taken a picture of this pen like 10 days ago, and you'd be like, but Tumelo, this pen existed 10 days ago, which is in the past, you know? But yes, this pen, existed in the past. It was there, it was there in the past, it no longer is. It is not in the future either, but it will be, but it is not in the future yet, because the future and the past do not exist, guys. We use past participles for past participles for things that have been but no longer are, things that were but no longer exist anymore. This is why we are called human beings. Being is the state of existing, and you cannot be a human being or human will be, you know. You are a being because you exist in this moment, in the here and the now. In the future, yes, you will be, but you do not exist in that moment of time yet. Obviously, what you do in this present moment will affect your other present moments that you will have later on in life, which is the future. And obviously, what you did in your past present moments that you've had affect how you experience this present moment. Because obviously the world works with cause and effect. There's an effect, a subsequent effect to all actions and all that we do, because time is progressive. Time moves from one present moment to the other, but not from the past to the future. No, it's present moments that are subsequent to each other. And let me tell you now, that's all there ever is, the present moment. The here and the now is all that exists. Number 19 on my list is that I am not as smart as I thought I was. I am smarter. Now, I've only realized this recently, and more especially after compiling this list, that and reflecting on the way the 15-year-old Tumelo used to think, the way I think now, and the way that I imagine myself to think when I'm older. Nothing ever stays the same. It is no different for our minds. My thinking capacities are not as limited as they were when I was younger. My mindset has broadened, and my brain has created new thought waves that have also expanded and will continue to expand as I introduce new information to it. This is why I encourage and enjoy reading so much. I cannot stress enough how important it is to feed your mind the right kind of information. Being intentional about the content that you consume, all this impacts your thought patterns. Number 20, finally, on my list is that change is inevitable, meaning that it's unavoidable. Change is always going to be there, guys. It is predicted. Nothing ever stays the same, as I've just mentioned. It is funny how it took me so long to figure out my 20th point. But this is one of the most obvious things to learn. I mean, everyone knows this. The dynamic of the world is forever changing. Life is not what it was 10 years ago. And I mean, we are going through the fourth industrial revolution right now. We are going through an entire revolution that is going to change most of the way this world works, you know. We are going through a whole pandemic that has changed so many things. The way we live, the way we interact, the way we do school and learn. Can you do school? It has changed so many things, guys. That is just goes to show how change will always be there. You know that saying that says life moves on? It really does. And that is the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for staying tuned until this far. I really appreciate that you could give me your time to listen. Please do not hesitate to comment down below any thoughts that you have or opinion, or if you want to dispute anything that I said in this video, please feel free. Just flood my comment section, guys, and please subscribe. It really means a lot to me and the growth of my channel. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough for watching this video, and I'm sending you guys nothing else but love, light, and positive vibrations. Mwah!